This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts. Welcome to Body Count, a history podcast.
Jingle balls, jingle all the way. All right, you stocking stuffers. Today's support for Body Count Big Heads Media comes from Manscaped.com, the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. You heard me right, Manscaped. Precision tools for your family jewels. Oh, what fun it is to ride a precision Manscaped sleigh. Gentlemen, take it from me. When you're relaxing, maybe hitting the eggnog this Christmas season, that special someone doesn't want to look for your gift under an untrimmed tree. Unruly holly bushes are a thing of the past. Look no further than Manscaped's Lawnmower 2.0 with proprietary advanced skin-safe technology. This trimmer won't nick or snag your chestnuts. Nothing makes under the mistletoe more awkward than using your face trimmer downtown. Don't forget to grab Manscaped's Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing, moisturizing deodorant for your chestnuts. Means cozying up near the open fire with complete confidence. You'll be ready to sit in any lap this season. Give yourself, your friends, your family, or that special someone in your life the perfect package this holiday season. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BIGHEADS, that's all caps, BIGHEADS at manscaped.com. Ladies, 'tis the season to stop hinting heat, trim the tree, and get proactive. Treat both of you with a gift that keeps on giving the whole year round at manscaped.com. Give the perfect package this holiday season with our special code BIGHEADS for 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Now, to the show. So before we start the show, because I'm so exhausted, Bethany's going to do our intro right now.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello. This is off to a great start. Okay. Let me try that again. Okay. Okay.
Sorry. I'll mute myself.
And hello and welcome to Body Count, the podcast where we believe history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes, and a proud member of the Big Heads Podcast Network. Oh my God, these dogs.
I'm going to have to be put down. There is no alternative.
They're outside. Okay. Oh my God. So here we go. We're here to show you don't. This is the worst intro ever right now that's happening.
I'll read with you from here. We're here to show you don't hate history. Go.
You just hate the way it was taught to you. Well, doesn't that always happen? Only rule when we choose a topic, someone or a lot of someone's died. We give you the series of events in a narrative fashion, and by the end, correlate said those events with the current story, like what's going on. So we're not PBS Kearns, we're not Ken Burns or Dan Carlin. So if you want that Hoover-esque, just the facts, ma'am, history podcast, we are not going to be for you. So bye. There will be analysis and opinions, and those opinions are our own. So know that Jessica holds me verbally hostage because I don't really get to say. So direct your hate at her, folks, where it belongs. Don't come at me because I can't handle it. Okay. So instead, tragedy plus time equals a comedy. So know that we both giggle and laugh at some really occasionally rough subject matter. And we're not trying to actively offend anyone. So you've been warned. So here is your host, Jessica Manor, and I am the co-host of Bethany Skelton.
Oh my God, Bethany, you're doing the intros from now on because that was amazing.
I was all over the place and dogs were barking, but this is life. This is why we don't get a chance to be in a recording studio.
That and the thousands of miles between us, but sure.
That too. That's just this minor setback, okay? I mean,
like Dwight Yoakam, we are 1,000 miles from nowhere.
Yes.
And you know what? Time don't matter to to us.
Mm-mm.
Really quickly, let me get through this. As usual today, a lot to
Housekeeping.
get to. Housekeeping. We are a part of the Big Heads Podcast Network, a great collection of podcasts. I haven't even drank that much, and I'm in this place. So we're super excited. Please go check them out on social media, everyone. If you love the show, please go and give us those 5 stars on iTunes or wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. You can say whatever the hell you want. It's not to just like make us feel good, although it very much does make us feel good.
So
But
no
I don't
complaints there.
need the ego boost. That may be a
No,
problem.
definitely. Me, I need it. Just say that, Bethany, you're amazing and you're smart. That's what I
There
need.
you go. That's what she needs to hear. Put that in the comments. We don't give a shit. Curse. It
Oh,
very
God.
much helps us out on the business end. And to those of you who have done it, and I see it, we very much appreciate you.
Yeah.
To that note, we're about to get our Patreon back up and running. I know we get a lot of questions about it. I promise it is coming back up post hiatus with bonus episodes, interviews, and body counts. We'll be sure to keep you updated via social media. So be sure to follow us on social media, mainly
Be patient.
Twitter. Please be patient. My life is barely together. I uprooted all of it and removed it. Like, you have to understand, this podcast was 2 years in the making before I decided to start it. So imagine when I move what it does to Patreon.
Which we're coming up on our actual, so this is our second time recording this. Because it always ends up that way.
It happens a lot.
But it's December 4th, which means I think our first episode actually was released, or our first 3 episodes was released on December 5th. So we are literally almost at our 1-year release date, which is amazing.
We took a 2.5 month hiatus so that Jessica could move her entire life across the country. Next move, that's not happening. So you're going to get it live from hotel rooms. Like, it's just going to be what it is.
That'll be fun.
With my husband with me in a hotel room and me screaming about history and him just, wanting to kill himself. But it is going to be what it is. First thing we have to say, if you can't tell by our voices, we are exhausted by the Romanovs.
Not just the Romanovs, but
Well, life. It's getting close to the Christmas holiday. We've got something coming up that is really, really exciting, but I won't say that I didn't have to do a ton of research for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
For, our interview series we've got coming. I won't say, but that was also a ton of work as well. So I'm double dying, guys. I'm sorry. And I know that you think, sitting in front of a computer 12 hours a day and writing and reading and doing whatever isn't a big deal. I dare you to do it. It is exhausting. It is exhausting. My house looks like, I don't know, the Romanovs exploded all over it. And not
actually a thing.
Yeah, it is. And not in the fun way where they got shot in it. The way where there's a weird...
Oh, God.
That's how jaded we are with this. The way where there's like weird spider webs pinned to my wall. They've gone off my board onto my wall of early Romanov stuff. And it's a little bit disturbing. My husband comes in and there's like archival evidence strewn over 2 living rooms, and he's just freaking out. So that's where we're at. And I don't ever get to put that away. Again, we have something special coming down the pipe. This has happened. I'm going to go back, I promise, after the holidays and finish up our Romanov series with Peter. Peter the Great. Of course, I'm going to do that. I can't help myself. I'm in the process of working on it, but I have got to take a break because I am having nightmares. like Russian
Man,
history.
I wasn't gonna say anything, Jessica, but thank God when you told me you were like, we're taking a break from the Romanovs, I spat out like several things. And I was like, thank God, because I don't know how many body parts I can take being strung up anymore. I just can't. I
Right.
can't do it. I'm gonna
Like,
cry.
how many more people can we hear about being soaked in vodka and set on fire?
And then eaten,
And then
rotisserie
eaten. God,
style.
there
Like
are
I just
so
can't.
many
I
eatens.
can't. I can't do it.
There are so many eatens. And I'd be like, I could even handle it if we weren't always eating the people. Like, it's the eating.
Exactly.
The eating gets to me. So I thought it would be fun because Bethany just went through one. If we looked at a very mixed body count of Black Friday.
Yes. Oh my God. You know what, Jessica? I have to say, like where I work at, like it's retail, but it's a different kind of retail. There's a ton of different products, different things everywhere. And I was being told all kinds of like nightmarish stories about what to expect at the job I work at for Black Friday. And I have to say, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was busy, yes, but it was kind of cool because at one point I ended up being stuck at the front, just handing out bags to people. And eventually, I noticed a man looking very confused
Lost.
and frustrated.
Lost.
Yes, and I said, "Sir, you can come stand over here. I'm going to label this the safe zone." He's like, "Oh my God, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you." He's like, "My wife has been standing at that table for 30 minutes. How long what is on that table that could be stared at for 30 minutes?" I said, "It's good deals. Just stay here. You'll be fine. When she gets ready to check out, you can just meet her and walk out the door." And I brought one guy over. And before I knew it, I had about 6 or 7 guys that are just standing there in the safe zone going, "Well, this is fun."
Like lost little lambs,
Like,
just
and they
doing
were
karate.
the very first one goes, "Do you got a TV with the game or something?" I was like, "Well, we got Wi-Fi. You can pull it up on your phone." Oh no. Like, oh shoot. But I was
Cut
just
to a series of men watching their phone.
yeah, so it wasn't as bad as I thought. So I'm interested to actually hear, because I've seen and heard news stories of people getting trampled and all that stuff. So I'm excited to hear the stories you have to tell me.
Well, I have a very fun lineup. I have a trample story. I have some just general mayhem. And then I have a murder.
Murder. Those are my favorite.
Most foul.
Sounds weird.
Of it has very much to do with Black Friday, i.e. the amount of cash taken in on Black Friday. So it's fun.
Wow.
Did you kill anyone?
No, well, no, but I wanted to. So there's a difference. What do you mean you ran out of this? Well, if you had been here when we opened, you could have got it. Well, where can I find it then? Not in the store. Well, can't I just order it? You know what? Our store to door, like in order to like order it from DC to send to your house, is not working right now. You want to know why? Because there are other people that are at home right now ordering it from online. So if you want it, go home and order it online yourself. Ah, murder to myself.
People, we should just punch them in the face.
I mean,
it's absolutely ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Here's some fun mess up. I just merged files between this and OneDrive, and so it took us back to the very beginning. Uh-oh, I'm threatened to get hiccups. That's never good.
Here we go again. This is how the first recording started.
Here we go again. This time it's because I have had Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I know. That's what it does that to you. With carbonation. Hiccup.
Hiccup. It is what it is. Like, we just got to deal with it. Okay. So, let me clear my throat. Because I know all of you listeners love that when I do that live action in the microphone. I don't get anybody telling me about that.
I get so turned on.
Like, I could mute it. I could. But we ain't got that kind of time.
No. I mean, I can mute myself when I blow my nose. So you're welcome. At least you don't get that.
I mean, that is a big deal, though.
Mm-hmm. We're so dumb.
I did mute it and do a big clearing of my throat. So, take a brief look, the briefest of looks, into the history of Black Friday. Because I'm not going to lie, this week, guys, I was just lazy AF.
I mean, understandable.
Everything I'm going to tell you is true. Just understand, if you've listened, what is it, 5, 6, we're at part 4, 2 parts, part 5. Part 5. We have done 10 straight episodes covering 300 years of Russian history. I'm mentally GD exhausted because I can't promise Peter the Great isn't going to take at least 2 episodes to cover. So it will be 12 episodes about the Romanovs. And I just don't have that kind of energy. I know it's my fault. It was my fault for breaking off a hunk of history that we couldn't handle. I should have ended it after the rise.
No, because Jessica, again, I would not have understood any of that if you had not given me the background. That's why I switched sides. If you listen to the episodes, I went from one end of the political spectrum to the other.
Other.
And it was because of the fact that I actually got the full scale background of what we're dealing with. So
yes, it annoyed me greatly. You went from being a monarchist to not a monarchist to a not a monarchist and a monarchist, and then I mean,
you'll get over it.
I know.
You'll get over it.
We'll be what we will be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, now we're like siding like I am that I am. I will be what I will be. I mean, how much more of a
song, right?
It's the Hebraic explanation of God, actually. So
oh God, here we go.
We have just gone energy vampire Jessica here to hit you again.
Okay, so tell me about the briefest of history on Black Friday.
So I'm going to go ahead at the beginning, bust a very common myth associated with Black Friday, how it's got its name, etc., because it annoys me. Now, a lot of really inflammatory, agitational is maybe the word I'm looking for. I can't quite say. People love to say that Black Friday got its name and its start back in the 19th century to like tradition when slave owners would sell weak or elderly slaves at discount prices. This is not true. I'm not going to say anything more about it than that because it's going to take us down a whole avenue of history I quite frankly don't want to explore. I'm not going to say any more, like I said, but that is an entirely fabricated, apocryphal myth, for lack of a better word.
I know you don't want to go down to it, but I just want to make sure I just want to make sure I fully understand
that it is not named after that day when they would join together and sell.
Because it wasn't just on a Friday. It was just whenever they got them, and they were like, "Hey, it's a Wednesday. I've got too many slaves. Let's have a discounted price."
Precisely.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure I'm following along. People sucked back then.
In simplest terms,
it wasn't just on Friday. It was every day.
Fucking blew. And yeah, it was just like whatever day. It wasn't like a set market day for this.
Like Sunday, even though it's supposed to be God's day of rest. Sunday, hey, let's sell a bunch of slaves on discount.
Like if I could go back in time and just eliminate a bunch of people, great, because they needed it. You know? Animals. Fucking animals. They're selling people. we're not agreeing with that. What we're
No.
disagreeing with, the fact that it was a Black Friday sale, that is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Well, it's not historic fact, and that's what we do here. It's absolutely silly. Moving on, we take an
Yeah.
actual look at the history of Black Friday, which was not coined until the 60s, folks.
Okay.
If you live under a rock and do not know, Black Friday officially kicks off the Christmas shopping period.
Yes.
It
Mhm.
did get its start in the United States. Which aren't you just so grateful to us, world?
Well, you're
Yet
welcome.
another fun gift that the United States of America has given to the world.
Oh, we suck. Oh, God.
We suck. We give you in equal parts the wonder that is Lizzo and then this tragedy. So, you know,
Oh,
take it or leave
God.
it.
Yeah.
We give you Lizzo and Ariana Grande and Billie Eilish, and then we give you this. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a trade. I'm going to pause for a second to take a drink because this is obviously where I'm at with my energy level.
Take a drink, bitch, because I'm with it.
Thank you for filling the silence while I did that.
Oh.
No, I didn't want silence. Like, silence is the enemy of podcasting. I will say, even though we gave the gift of Black Friday to the world, other countries have progressively gotten into the swing of things. Like, very much so. Especially, God bless you, like Ireland. A lot of not fatal Black Friday injuries, but the other kind that I've read about have come from there also. So, like, God bless you. God bless you for getting in the swing of things with us. Literally the swing of things, because fights and brawls have also made their way, like we said, to other parts of the world with Black Friday. Now, what became known as Black Friday began in the United States as a day of like doorbuster sales immediately following Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And this picks up very much after the war when we have that real economic boom, when the United States has first become a world creditor. We see all these crazy post-Thanksgiving Day sales, right?
Because they've got a lot of stuff they're like, all right, let's get rid of all of this. And
back then it was about like buy. You know, it was not that today is any different, but back then you could buy without being in debt.
Yeah.
So it was a different time, and it's actually continued on to today.
Yeah.
Understandably, though, this was a nightmare for the police.
Yeah.
Which, again, if you've lived under a rock, people lose their GD minds over some dollars off. So
Yeah,
back
hello. People were getting pissed that we ran out of a $27 eyeshadow palette.
Exactly.
Really?
I have never, ever in my human life, and I'm sorry, but I am a kind of a privileged twat, or grew up one, and I'm trying to get out of that, but never in my life have I been to a Black Friday anything. So I've always just seen images of it, and I just like,
videos.
It floors me. And videos. I've never seen people line up. I've never seen that in my life.
It was
so
insane. And actually, I did find out, like, I saw a video of this past Black Friday of the mall in our area. One of the girls, she works for a competitive retail store against us, as she's a worker there. And she told me, and we got to talking, what time do you open? What time do you open? We opened up at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving. And she said, she's like, we open up at 2. And I said,
let me take a
yikes.
guess. Sephora?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she told me and the thing is I was like, that's insane. Are people really gonna line up for it? And sure enough, I saw a video, like, post online, because I do, scrolling my annual morning scrolling sesh.
Oh my God. It drives me so nuts, guys.
I know.
I just want to talk to her before we start recording. And it's like, I get back absolute silence. Look at her now. She's just like talking her ass off. Sorry, curse. She's talking her A off now. She's like bippity boppity boo on this shit. Curse. And she's so interactive now. I get 30 minutes of silence for social media out of her.
Well, again, but I get some good content, and you always love what I find. Okay, you might hate it, but I find good stuff.
I'm not
there was a
disagreeing
line
with that, but
wrapped around the mall. Wrapped around the mall. Nothing in the mall is that worth it. I'm sorry, but there is no way.
I'm sorry, but do people shop at malls? Maybe I'm such an Amazon head that I just don't realize. Like, guys, I get my money's worth out of my Amazon Prime. I promise you.
Yeah.
Greatest deal on the planet for me. I get it out of watching their content. Content alone. But the things that I have delivered for free, it's just so
right to your door,
stupid. Right to my door. And a lot of people, like I know a lot of people still resist. I don't know if I need Amazon Prime. I'm like, are you out of your mind?
You're missing out on life.
I don't buy perishable groceries anywhere but at Amazon. So it's really amazing to me that you're describing to me people lining up in a line outside when you could just get it. Do Amazon, everybody.
Well,
and
it's
there's
crazy.
No way those people don't have Safari on their phones. Like,
I know. What's crazy is our particular business actually opened up online shopping an hour before the stores opened. So I'm like, dude, I would have gotten all my stuff like right then and there and not had to leave my dang house and spend time with my family. What?
I did that same thing with like really retailers I love. Every time there's like a midsummer sale or anything, because we love Levi's jeans and they're not paying us money, I assure you that. But we love Levi's in our house. I will never quit high-rise jeans as long as I live. I don't know about you.
Same.
But I've never quit them. I was never a low-rise jean person. And people always, you look so... Because I button my shit up in a high-rise jean. Like...
Squeeze it on in.
Squeeze Nobody it on will know in there. Yeah, I mean, I look thin AF. Like, but it's just amazing to me that people don't online shop, because I don't think that you're getting that much off. Because I will tell you, as somebody back in college that used to work an interesting, fairly high-end retail job, that I used to see the actual manifests and purchasing for what a store did. And it was always like 37 cents for a $20.99 top. So the reality is they're only giving you 100% markup on Black Friday versus a 200% markup on Black Friday. So I don't know. Just like get it off Amazon directly where it comes from, China.
Oh, God.
Like, I'm sorry. But get it directly from Indonesia, where everybody else does.
We're officially on another list. Oh, God.
Oh, God, Bethany, that's so true.
Oh, God. All right, so back to the story.
Yeah, but now I'm concerned because we're on so many government lists already. Now we're on like a retail corporate government list, so that's exciting. Yet another edition for Old Body Count. So back in 1966, the Philadelphia surprise.
Oh, Philly.
Oh, Philadelphia. We absolutely adore you on this show. And I want you to know.
Take any opportunity you can to riot. You win something, you lose something, you're happy, you're sad about something, you riot. Right. But hey, we
God
live for it.
bless
We get
ye
to
Philadelphia. Putting batteries and snowballs and hurling at people. You are fantastic as a city.
And we love you. Yes.
We love you. And I don't mean that in a derogatory, like sarcastic way. You are the greatest inspiration for this podcast there ever has and ever will be. God bless you, Philadelphia.
Yes.
Absolutely. So the Philadelphia Police Department was like, enough of this crap, because the streets are banana bonkers with traffic jams, and there are like tussles everywhere that combine to lead the police to the term Black Friday. Now, we're going to go back and see what Black Friday harkens back to in history, but the Popos start calling it Black Friday in an attempt to dissuade people from rushing to retail shops because, Black Friday. And that also had more of an implication in the 60s to people alive. But more than that, like, it's a scary name, right?
I mean, it's not big. They didn't call it because of race, right? They called it because something else.
For once in American history, this is not named for race.
Okay,
You'll
good.
be surprised to find out.
Did a brow wipe. Like, whew.
Whew.
All right.
For once,
Sweet.
history isn't as horrible as it usually is.
Yes.
No, they're saying Black Friday, if you go out, you'll be in these traffic jams and you'll get the S kicked out of you and, that kind of thing. Obviously, the name
Didn't
stuck, but it didn't stick within Philadelphia at the time because people still came out. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and a lot of people are going to argue with me. That began in 1961 with some obscure shopping newsletter. Fight me because you're wrong. There's no documented proof of that, but I can document and prove this. So come at me if you think you're smarter. That's cute. Not that you think you're smarter. You probably are smarter than me, but I will say that you don't have the proof. And so we're going to credit this name to 1966. Love it or hate it. I'm not here to deal with it. But it didn't become a thing.
A thing.
Until like the 90s, 2000s, when it became a truly corporate national retail trend, if you will.
And I remember that. No, I remember because I was around that time where my parents were like, I gotta get up early and go stand in line.
Exactly. Before then we didn't have the internet on our phones, so that had to be a thing.
It came from the newspaper ads that we got in the mail. Like we knew
Thank you. Mailers were the inspiration, and also like when you go out and you kind of look at this, and cell phones didn't really, become like a carry on with that Nokia brick phone till like 04 or 05, 06. That's just what you did to get these insane deals. You clipped coupons, and you had to actually, in the 90s, you didn't just get a doorbuster deal. You had to clip the coupon.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
If you wanted the deal, you better have your coupon ready. Otherwise, you're going to pay full price.
That's exactly right.
I'm sorry, but that's just it. And it first come, first serve. So if you're not there with the first 100 people in line, you're probably not going to get your TV.
You're not going to get your deal. Exactly.
Or whatever it is. Yeah.
That's what
Usually
made
it's a TV.
kind of the more insane. And yet in the 90s, nobody was killing each other. That doesn't come until the 2000s. But I will also say, like when you look at it as a national trend, what I mean in the 90s and 2000s, like sure, New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, like you maybe get it in Kansas City, Austin, Dallas. Like I'm just progressing across the country, obviously, in cities that are familiar to us. But it was more of an urban collection of things. And then that national commercial rage really hits. Now, it was there in the 80s and it was less prevalent in the 70s, but it really nationalized chains really hit hard in the 90s. And
Well, that's because we had access to it.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember? I don't even know because I was singing it last night and my husband was like, "What are you singing?" And he's older than me. And I was like singing the Foley's Red Apple Sale song because we were looking at this. Do you remember?
No,
Foley's Red Apple Sale. Look what's going on at Foley's. Okay, maybe it was a more regionalized thing where I lived.
Yeah.
But
sorry. Nope.
Foley's, like they've been closed for a billion years, but I remember like jingles about Black Friday sales and things like that. And it's not something that existed really until then. Like you had to know your local retailer was going to do that after Thanksgiving. Yeah. And so it blows up, guys, in the 90s and 2000s. I can't even tell you.
By word of mouth too. Like that's actually how the biggest thing gets done. It's like, oh, well, where did you get that? Well, I actually got it on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. I stood in line. I got this and this, but I saved this much money. Well, shoot, next year I'm gonna do that. So like,
you are right, Bethany. That's exactly. Do you remember like your parents telling other people about, oh, this, oh, that, like, because back then my parents still did it. But like I said, it was safe. It was a coupon clipping thing. It was like what people did.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get, because now I'm thinking about it, it's going to get a whole lot more ridiculous and privileged from here, and I don't want it to.
You're showing your true colors.
They are shining through. So we're going to go on in the history of Black Friday. So where we left off, understandably, retailers weren't thrilled about the name Black Friday because it harkened back to the good old Great Depression.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which was kicked off by a day, we'll remember, that was called Black Thursday.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I get it.
Does that make sense? Like they see Black Friday as a harken back to Black Thursday. Whereas retailers did love the millions and now billions of dollars dropped in just a matter of hours.
Money, money, money.
I can see you now, so we're going to get stupid on this podcast.
I mean, you're totally right, though, Jessica, because of the fact that we had a goal from last year. Because, of course, we all know I work in retail. We've discussed this a million times. But I'm just saying is we have a set goal. We did both on Thanksgiving and Black Friday over $10,000 over the goal from last year. And of course, they raise it. They raise it every year by a small percentage. We did over that. So, yeah, we made good money.
That's going to be so important when it comes to our murder, Miss Fowl. So,
okay.
The point is, retailers then tried to rebrand, saying most of the year shops are in the red, which you can argue that they are now because of Amazon, but their ledgers were in the black on Black Friday. So to shareholders and everybody, that looks much better. But it was obviously in terms of business purposes because, of course, consumers think that there are massive Black Friday deals. The reality is that retailers are always in the black. But that 19 police attempt was likely basically the origin of the day's name. It didn't come from retailers saying, oh, I'm in the black, whatever. It was something that existed, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah, because we talk about it in our particular business about being in the red, and with payroll and budget and sales, it all has to line up. Whereas we might have been in the red for the week, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're in the red for the period or the quarter or the year. It's just, it's something
Black Friday makes up a wonderful amount of that. I'm sorry, viewers, I'm so excited. I'm looking at Bethany.
We're so dumb.
Putting our perfect teeth and like our perfect braces teeth up at each other into the camera.
Thanks, Mom.
I shouldn't say they're perfect. Thanks, Mom. Like I think we both have to say thanks, Mom. But we call it Black Friday for a different reason. This day of magnificent sales has, in fact, quite a body count. Now, I said in the intro, guys, I'm fucking tired. And I would agree that Bethany, curse is probably effing tired. We are tired. The Romanovs has taken it out of us.
Yeah.
And, our surprise that we have is more in the works, but it wasn't a vacation. We had to do a lot of ad hoc study just for that.
Well, you did, not me. I just sat back and go, you know what? I'm not going to take notes because I can't take notes in this. This is just going to be a fly by the seat of my pants.
Notes, which ends up being amazing because Bethany said back to me, like, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to be surprised by what I learned. And it was amazing because of that. And so I'm so excited for the second part of it. So, we kind of go into Black Friday. We didn't do the whole body count of Black Friday. It is kind of what it is. We're going to highlight some of the more metal Black Friday action. Because what do we do on this podcast? We don't do history that's rock and roll. We do history that's metal.
Total AF.
Metal AF.
I mean, it
just is. We're going to hit some of our more fave Black Friday stories that we found.
Kind of weird saying
maybe
fave.
Not favorites.
These are my favorite deaths of Black Friday. Yay!
Maybe not really some more of our cheerleader. We're doing cheerleader motions at each other. Maybe not our cheerleader Black Friday faves, but some more of the WTF ones. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So those actually are my favorite.
Oh God! What the F is happening? And we're trying still.
French toast, man.
What the French toast? We are trying very hard not to curse, guys, and give us credit for that. So, first up, 2008, a worker dies at a Long Island Walmart.
Sorry.
Bethany. Well, it is Long Island. Your favorite human stampede. Now, you guys don't know how much Bethany loves human stampedes as far as body counts go. It's just fascinating to her. Like how other humans can trample, how they can have the conscience to do it. So it's fascinating to her. That is a preview of what's coming in our reverse body count. So at a Walmart Long Island, an insane, out of control bunch of rabid shoppers bust through the door, like the store's main doors, and trample a man to death. The same mob, busted through the doors at a Valley Stream outlet, causing insane chaos, knocking several employees to the ground. And those that were like nimble enough to climb on top of vending machines to avoid this. I can only describe them as a shopping Mongol horde. Like, do you agree though? It's like Genghis Khan.
Oh, for Sparta!
We're here to take down your. It was just insanity. And we're not used to. We are on the show used to people fleeing from fires, collapse.
Oh yeah, like actual death related, a gun shooting or bombing,
reason to have a human stampede. We're not
survival. It's usually survival. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not used to like human stampedes for televisions. Like Bethany said, we're used to, I'm trying to survive a fire or a fucking plane crash. Not because I really want this television, y'all. When the shit cleared, like 34-year-old temporary maintenance worker from Jamaica, Queens, he was trampled to death, you guys.
Oh,
also injured were 4 shoppers and an 8-month pregnant woman.
Okay, hold on. What the heck? First of all, I'm going to stop you there. Why the heck is an 8-month-old pregnant woman out shopping on Black Friday?
We have to.
Is it diapers? Is it diapers on sale? Is it formula on sale? Is she really getting
I have to stop you because we don't know what's on sale for like. We're kind of, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm not thinking of? We're privileged shoppers. Okay. I don't know, and I will say this, Bethany, I don't know what's available baby-wise on Black Friday. Does that make sense?
But she couldn't send to like a neighbor or mother?
But what if it's like crib? What if it's like, you and I have never Black Friday shopped for our children. No. So, but what if it was though? What if they were severely underprivileged and you could get like 3 months worth of diapers and a fucking crib for what you would pay normally? We don't know.
Sensitive, empathetic one.
Yeah, and it disturbs when did that happen? Me. I'm looking at you in the face, and it disturbs me that I'm having to be like, well, maybe. It's like problematic.
Oh, God.
It's problematic that I'm having to be a decent human being in the face of this. So this poor man was basically like bum rushed over by 200 people at once because they took the doors off the hinges. And that was the established first rush because there were 2,000 plus people they estimate waiting in the parking lot. So other employees literally describe having to fight people off their back in the rush. But our worker was not so lucky. Witnesses said even after officers arrived to perform CPR on the gasping man for air, that the EMTs and officers were being stepped on by like arriving shoppers in the stream.
Oh my God.
Sweet Jesus. Ultimately, however, it was determined that the man did die of a heart attack.
Okay.
So he had a heart attack, and then he fell, presumably from that heart attack, into the rush of people that were trampling on him and trampled him to death.
Well, I mean, it could have been worse.
I mean, yeah, like that. Jesus
he didn't
Christ.
fall. He didn't fall over, have a heart attack down there, and get trampled to death. He had a heart attack, and on the way down, they finished the job. So
Which let
he might
me
have been kind of like unconscious, right?
Yeah. No,
I mean,
let me
again,
describe the
could have been worse.
situation. Let me describe the situation, which was a small wonder that he was trampled to death. Because oh shit, my little arrow uppy just got too much, guys. Sorry. At 5 a.m., the crowd was shoved against the doors, chanting, "Push the doors in." Why? And the employees, nervous as hell, decided to form a human chain. I'm mimicking this to Bethany and slow the crowds down. Did not work. They broke down the doors and jumped over the barricades and were screaming and wild as hell. So basically a horde of like shopping Vikings.
Oh my God. Honestly, all I can think of is that game Red Rover we played as a kid. Red Rover. Send this angry mob over. We can hold them, you guys.
We can hold them, you guys.
Oh,
like, no,
God.
Why would you do that? You don't own any of that property. Fuck it. Get on top of whatever you got to get on top of. Keep yourself safe. So they tried to close the store because of the death of the employee. But instead, they were met by screams from shoppers that they had been waiting in line since the morning, and everyone else just keeps on shopping. They were finally barely able to clear. Oh shit, we've had a break. They were barely able to clear everyone else out, and the store reopened at like 1 p.m. that day. However, it was packed to the gills, you know? I mean, Jesus fucking wept, people.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Like,
a
man just died.
I'm disturbed by this.
I mean, this man literally just died, and they're going to bitch and complain because they can't get in, and other people are in there. Well, Susie's in there, and she still gets to shop. Why can't I go in there? I don't care if this guy died. I want to be able to get my flat screen TV for $20. I mean, I don't know what it was back then, but you know what I mean?
That's exactly what they were doing, though. And that's
ridiculous.
What makes me cry. Like, because people were checking out as this guy is laying trampled to death post-heart attack.
Yeah.
And, like, right outside the door. They didn't give a shit.
No.
So, 2016, we'll go through these quickly. Black Friday, shooting in a mall parking lot in New Jersey. 2 people are shot, 1 fatally. Now, why? Over a parking space outside of Macy's, it's believed. People were trying to line up outside to get the place reopened for Black Friday for hours. Which takes us to some more parking lot madness. A bystander sees a woman in the parking lot of Black Friday Walmart. Of course, it's Walmart. Also in 2016, he pulls up and tells the man, "Take your hands off of her," because the man beating the shit out of a woman. The man stops beating the woman long enough to pull a gun and fire at the man, who was killed. A woman in the vehicle with them was injured, as well as a random woman in the parking lot.
God. Over a parking space.
Well, in this case, not even over a parking space, ever beating a woman over Black Friday.
Well, I mean,
sweet Jesus.
But he was beating a woman over a parking space. A guy said, "Hey, man, knock it off. That's not cool. You know, hey, man, can't we just chill out?" Bam, dead.
Which I don't necessarily advocate gun ownership. I will tell you I am a gun owner. But if you're going to pull up to beat up an obvious in the day, like beating the hell out of a woman parking in the parking lot, maybe have a gun. Because I would just say that I would pull up to that with a gun pointing at a motherfucker who's beating a woman because he deserves it and say, stop your shit.
It's whoever draws first, Jessica.
Like, I am not
I mean,
gun ownership.
No,
and
but I would just say
they're the problem. I will say, if you think they're the problem, I understand you not wanting one. But if you grew up with one, like I did, I can honestly say, as a woman, I would have pulled up to that situation as a woman with a gun and said, "You better knock that shit off, like real fucking quick.
before I pop a gap in your ass."
Exactly. How are you beating a woman, you
Prick.
POS? Like, oh my
Poop
God.
head. You poopy face. You're a poopy face.
How are you beating a woman? Like, how can you do that? But, and that's, of course, how somebody who's going to openly beat a woman in a parking lot is probably going to respond. So be prepared before you address that situation. Don't address it unless you're willing to unless you have the artillery to address that situation.
Right,
and I understand if you don't advocate guns, guys. I get it 110%. I don't advocate you advocating guns because I grew up with them. I grew up hunting and shooting, and
I did not.
Like, I know how to handle a gun. Just 110% no. So I understand, but I'm all in defense of you need to have years of classes before you get to maybe handle a gun.
Agreed.
Especially a high power firearm. And not even just a handgun. Doesn't matter. Another man was driving home. Sorry, we get into this all the fucking time in our podcast. Like, I just advocate that people have to have years of training before they understand. I just happen to have them because I'm a hillbilly. Another man was driving home after 3 hours of sleep after staking out all day for Black Friday bullshit.
I already know where this is going.
BS. Now, the third row of their vehicle was folded down for all of the shiz that they had purchased on Black Friday. Now, they are on their way home, right? Meanwhile, on the side of the road, an officer is helping two people change a tire. Now, a driver behind this guy says, the guy that's driving, he sees him start to float hard to the white line. And of course, all the drivers behind back off.
Like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Yeah.
Like, this guy is falling asleep. He's only had 3 hours and 24 hours. Sure enough, the sleep-deprived man plows into the back of the vehicle just off the road. Now, because the third row of the vehicle was down because of all the Black Friday that they had bought. Shit. I'm sorry. Because of all the Black Friday shit that they had brought in the back, we know we're cursing. The 4 daughters in the second row, 2 were not wearing seatbelts. So tired AF post Black Friday, 3 hours and 24 hours sleep, slams into the car just off the road. Boom. Flips the vehicle at least 7 times, and 2 of his daughters are thrown from the vehicle because they weren't wearing seatbelts and killed. And the rest of the family is pretty severely injured. Like, really? Is this shit that, curse, I know. It's your shit that you have bought that important, you F-word animal.
I agree. However, I'm like stuck on my math because you know how I am with math. They're in a van. The third row is obviously
I didn't say
down.
they were in a van. We don't know what they're in.
But
I'm going to assume an SUV.
Okay, but still, you cannot fit 4 people, 4 kids on a one row. That's mathematically not possible.
Well, that's the point. They're all shoved in there. Like, who gets the seatbelt? Gets maybe the middle and one to the side. You got a skinny daughter. And admittedly, they were adult daughters. Like, at least this isn't 4-year-olds, right?
Okay. Well, I mean,
these aren't like 4 to 6-year-olds. But it's not better. They had their whole lives in front of them. I agree. But these are kind of semi-adult daughters.
Okay.
They're not like little kids, if that makes sense, where you can put them in the same seatbelt. So the younger daughters were strapped into seatbelts and the older daughters were not wearing one.
Okay.
Not that it made a difference. So, like, we're running out of juice, guys. Like I said, we're exhausted. We're going to try to cover this in a real hurry. If you could see me and Bethany.
Bethany.
We look like two worn out history hobos.
I'm having a good old time, though. I'm not even exhausted. I'm just getting drunk, which is even better.
I'm not even there yet. That's how exhausted I am. Well, I mean, I'm there. I was going to say,
there. I've heard some words slurred. I just didn't say anything.
No, there's definite word slurage, and I am definitely there. But I'm not as there as what we usually record this podcast in, if that makes sense.
Okay, so
i.e. fall down drunk.
Yeah. So, okay, Jessica, you've gotten through these have been some pretty heavy shiz stories, but I'm still waiting for my murder.
They're super boring till we get to the murder.
Okay. I want to hear about this murder.
Okay. Like I said, and Bethany has pointed out, we're exhausted, listeners. We're running out of juice. We apologize. But we're going to do a Black Friday related murder.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
So back in 2014, 2 employees, and this is going to be important. Follow me through this story, okay? And then
I'm gonna be quiet. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet and go.
Okay. So back in 2014, 2 employees of an American Eagle back in August 24th, so after back to school shopping, were fired for suspected burglary of $18,000. The then assistant manager, Carter Cervantes, was viewed on surveillance camera leaving the back door. And moments later, Cervantes' man and current employee, Clarence Mallory, slipped in and made directly for the safe. We know that because of later testimony. So, Mallory failed to return to work following the robbery, and both Cervantes and Mallory were fired from the American Eagle by another assistant manager by the name of Ashley Harris. Now, no formal charges were brought, however, as Mallory was not identifiable on surveillance tape, and Cervantes could have simply forgotten to lock the back door.
Been there,
Harris
done
did
that.
report the two as robbery suspects. The lapse in responsibility by Cervantes that resulted in the robbery and Mallory not showing up for his shifts was still enough to have Harris to dismiss both the employees.
Okay.
So this is going to be important because one, Cervantes and Mallory would have an axe to grind going forward with Ashley Harris. Two, Cervantes 25 and Mallory 19 have a clearly established pattern of burglary, specifically of this mall and this store. And three, Cervantes and Mallory worked for a few years for this particular store. Now, that means they are aware intimately of the store's deposit procedures, aware of the mall and store's layout, and were also aware of Harris's habits, including her dress. So, let's stop to address a few things.
Okay.
This makes sense.
Yeah. So Cervantes, the 25-year-old, is actually the woman. Mallory, 19, is the male. They both have worked there for years, or at least one of them has. Right?
At least Cervantes for years. Mallory's worked there for at least a year.
So clearly she's established some sort of relationship with this 19-year-old. Gross, but no judgment, whatever. Just my opinion.
Whatever.
So, and the fact that you said that it says in the tape that this person went directly to the safe, that shows that they didn't just look around. They knew where things were at.
Exactly.
And the fact that they have a history of it, that's like stack it. Now it's starting to kind of stack up.
What we're trying to give to everybody is there was a hoodie or a mask of some kind on Mallory when he immediately went through the back door. Okay. But he still knew exactly where the safe was, which only somebody with intimate knowledge of the store would know, right? Like, no matter what. Like, everybody doesn't know exactly where it's at necessarily in a manager's office, which would probably have also been unlocked. I don't know that for sure, but I assume that the safe wasn't sitting out in an employee area. Right? So then also, he and Cervantes were dating, and you can't necessarily say that she left it open to be robbed.
I mean, I've been there. I'm sorry, I've been there. I've got 800 things going on at once. I'm trying to close registers down. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. So, I mean, again, we're all human.
There, but I understand that. But when you leave there, the last thing you do is check the door is closed, and she just walked out and never checked the lock on surveillance,
which is kind of weird. It's
which
weird.
Is kind of weird. If you had an incident trying to lock the door and you couldn't lock it, that might be a different thing.
Okay,
but she just walked
opened it out. She opened it and then walked away from it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, kind of gives you to have some suspicions. And then Mallory never showed up for another shift afterward, right?
Right. So they both get fired.
Correct. So they both got fired. It was reported to police that they have suspicion that based on everything that happened, we think it might be these two. And Ashley Harris is the one that said that to police.
Right. Well, I mean, she has every right because she's like the boss, right?
Also another assistant store manager, but higher than what the other girl is, if that makes sense. Higher than Carter Cervantes. So cut to November 27th, It's 5:30 p.m. Harris works around 3:12 a.m. or November 28th too, in preparation for stores like Black Friday sale. So November 27th is Thanksgiving. Correct.
Okay.
Now, Harris works until 3:12 a.m. of November 28th, which is
Officially makes up Black Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm following. I'm totally following. Yeah.
So she may not have been for the highlight of when sales were going on, but she was doing all the
Prep work.
signage prep and all of that stuff going in.
I know all about that. Okay. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Exactly. And back where this is at, it makes sense that it wasn't quite as crazy as what we expected to be now. So Harris arrived home to her apartment at approximately 3:25 a.m. and she meets with a friend. They don't specify, but the friend's testimony, I promise, is going to be good for the rest of this, you guys. She meets with a friend who left her at her apartment, Ashley Harris's apartment, at 4:40 a.m. Now, police spoke with a downstairs neighbor who reported hearing a loud thump, screaming, and heavy breathing at 7:30 a.m. Which this guy isn't a total asshole, but I just have to say, if you hear that in an apartment building, call 911, asshole.
Immediately.
Like I would.
Right away. I mean,
would you not? I'd be like, somebody's
what the
getting
fuck was that?
murdered. Somebody's getting murdered.
What? And I'm sorry, but I've watched enough horror movies to know I am not gonna go up there and check it out. I'm gonna send somebody else with the proper authority.
Well, that's
to check it out.
Kind of deal. It's not just even horror movies. I've watched enough of the ID network to know that someone is in danger, and I'm calling 911 and I'm saying, listen, y'all, this is what's going on up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going up, but I can clearly hear it. But this is the kind of, I love hearing that crack on our podcast.
Crack.
I'm almost out of my drink, so we'll have to take a pause for my drink re-up, because this is a hell of a story, guys.
I mean, it really is. So he hears all that. Does he do anything about it?
I wish he did, but immediately. But he does do something almost immediately, because this guy then then phones 911, which not because of that, which might have saved a life, but because his carbon monoxide detector went off and water is seeping through his ceiling from Harris's apartment above his.
Wow. Now, how inconvenient for him.
Oh, how rough for him. How terrible. Even though the guy hesitated on his call because he was inconvenienced, he was at least like the neighbor you want if you get potentially murdered, because he's observant.
He might not have reacted when you wanted him to, but at least he reacted.
He's gonna get justice for whoever killed you. So he looks out the window while calling to report the possible fire and sees a black Infiniti G35 with its lights off, leaving the space right in front of Harris's apartment. And just so happens at that same time, another neighbor gives that exact same testimony that they saw that thing.
Okay.
This is about to get not fun. So the policemen and firemen report to Harris's apartment by 8:04 a.m. So this is 34 minutes after the call. I don't even know that it would have been in time. They enter the apartment, put out the roaring fire in the bedroom of the apartment. Now, once the fire is out, it is then that they identify Harris's body face down on the floor near the foot of the bed. Her ankles are bound with duct tape, and her hands are bound with duct tape behind her back. I know that there was a great deal of blood that she was lying in, and I'm a little unsure, as a lot of reports conflict about exactly what was done to this poor girl. I do know that Harris had to be tentatively ID'd by her tattoos because of the fire. Now, she suffered serious blunt force trauma to the face and head, so she was definitely beaten. Harris also showed signs of trauma to the neck and throat, consistent with either strangulation, right? Or, and again, reports vary, but possibly her throat was cut. And I'm going to have to believe in the end, after everything that I've seen and read, that the poor girl was definitely beaten almost to death, and then her throat was probably cut.
And then they set the bedroom on fire.
And then they set her body in the bedroom on fire. Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What a fucking bunch of princes we're covering right now.
Oh my God.
Piece of shit. Hope he die. And I'm not gonna lie about it. Hope he die. The body and several areas of the bedroom were partially burnt, and there was evidence that the fires had been set with various accelerants. So everything from like ethanol alcohol to normal alcohol. Mm-hmm. They also found Harris's wallet open on the bathroom sink. If that makes sense. Now, remember the friend that stopped by at like 3:25? That same friend informed police that Harris would routinely leave her work keys and wallet on the kitchen counter. So the wallet showed up in the bathroom and had been disturbed. So police take a look-see at Harris's work keys, and lo and behold,
they're missing.
The only things missing from the apartment are Harris's keys to the store gate and the safe. So,
oh my God.
Police inform everybody and immediately begin interviewing friends and coworkers. And they hear all about Ashley Harris's history with Cervantes and Mallory.
I mean, now people are probably like, she's dead.
Bitches.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, it's true, though. Think about it, because it's like, oh, my God, she died. Do you think you have an idea? Well, actually.
I have a real good idea. So they say, hey, you stole a shit ton of money before. You used to work at the store. The only things missing are keys to this American Eagle that no one but someone that was had intimate knowledge with the victim and the store would know about, or it would matter too, right? So, idiot pieces of
poo.
shit.
Oh,
you're right. Sorry.
Poo, big pieces of poo. Poopy faces.
How stupid do you have to be? Well, we're going to find out. So, they also find out from Harris and coworkers that Cervantes drives a black Infiniti G35. So police start with immediate surveillance on the couple at their apartment at 3:45 a.m. on November 29th, which, guys, so you know, is the morning after the day of Black Friday. Black Friday has run through. It's done at midnight, like it's done. So it's now all that Black Friday like action, cash is in full swing at American Eagle.
That also not a lot of people use cards at this time either.
No, it means it's absolutely loaded with cash. Black Friday's level of cash. We can't reiterate that more. Now, remember, these assholes worked at this place for years, so they knew the kind of cash that this place would essentially have on hand post Black Friday. So, about 7:45 a.m., the pair get in the black Infiniti and drive to the mall where the American Eagle is. Cervantes enters the mall, and Mallory drives around to the exit where they both know American Eagle employees will come out to take the Black Friday deposit of cash to the bank.
Ugh. We're getting chills.
So police are already surveilling the two of them. So they roll up on Mallory and are like, WTF, what you up to, bro? And he says he's waiting for his girlfriend that works in the mall at Aeropostale. Now, the police go inside like, okay, a-hole, and go into the mall, and they just ask one of the people already inside the Aeropostale and find out that, in fact, Cervantes most certainly does not work there.
She don't even go here.
So then they pop up on over to the American Eagle and find that there are two employees that are waiting outside. So it turns out that American Eagle had the locks changed in the course of the all Black Friday madness following Harris's murder and subsequent loss of the keys.
Well, hey, at least they got something. They got something, right?
They did. I have to give that to them. So
they did have a few months to prep for it, but
the employees are locked out, and they were there early to make the deposit post Black Friday, which was anywhere between $40,000 and $50,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, they would have exited the building after collecting the cash from the safe as per usual and as per, store standards, exactly where Mallory was in fact waiting.
Okay.
Now, the Popo pop on the surveillance tape, and that shows
call the Popo ho.
And that shows Cervantes entering the mall in an unsuccessful attempt to unlock the American Eagle gate. Couldn't and exit the mall from another door where she eventually walked to her apartment. So
wow, way to dip out on the guy waiting.
Yeah, right. You're supposed to let him know where the deposit's coming out. So they arrest Mallory outside after she jets for not having a driver's license on him, operating her vehicle. They take him in and obtain a warrant for the car, where they find ski masks, a 9mm handgun, a single walkie-talkie, and a guide to lockpicking. They then pop over to Cervantes' apartment and bring her in for questioning as well.
It's literally like how to rob a place for dummies 101.
No, that's exactly.
I just can't.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh, good times.
How to rob a store for dummies. A 101. No, that's exactly
Buying
what
stores now.
happened.
They probably got it down at Barnes and Nobles in the mall.
Robbing a store 101, just the same as they got chemistry 101, in case they thought to use explosives. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what the plan was. She was inside going to try to go in.
Before everybody, right?
Exactly. Like
Okay.
before the employees showed up to get in and steal from the safe using Harris's keys. Failing that, she was supposed to like alert him to know when the employees that were able to get in collected the deposit. So he was going to gear up, be waiting outside where they knew that the employees were going to exit and then rob them. And remember, they, especially her, had worked there for a number of years. So they knew roughly that they could get an exact amount of money for a little amount of effort. So they're assholes. And they essentially killed this poor girl, Ashley Harris, for like $50,000 and revenge.
But they didn't get it. But they didn't even get it.
They didn't even get it. No, that's why I'm so upset by this. I know my yawn doesn't indicate that I'm upset by this. But I am, and I know I don't yawn during Russian history, but I mean, a little bit, this is kind of a letdown for us after Romanov. So, because they could have planned to just rob the employees. I mean, do you get what I'm saying? They could have robbed everybody without like stalking this girl long term and killing her.
And they didn't even really need the keys in the end because they killed her. They changed the lock, so those keys weren't going to even work.
But in the end, I think they had to have known that American Eagle Retailers was going to change the damn lock. So it was revenge, but it was also motivated by Black Friday. They wanted the money. End of the day, like you can say whatever it was. So both of these two stories were kind of all over the place when questioned and contradicting each other. So Cervantes was even denying that she was even at the mall on the day that they arrested her. So, I mean, like,
obviously their stories fell through. I mean, if they're changing, I mean, so what is that? What that means is they're probably going to turn on each other, right?
Oh, you're exactly right, because they turn on each other so fast. It's ridiculous in the state of Texas. Yada, yada. We get the entire story. So both get life in prison and the great state of Texas.
No parole.
No possibility. You're exactly right, Bethany.
I lived there long enough to know.
You live there long enough to know if they ain't putting you to death, you ain't getting out of prison.
So again, this actually then goes to the point. So what what have we learned from this, Jessica? What have we learned from these crazy ass stories of Black Friday?
Jesus Christ, what do we ever learn, Bethany? That humans goddamn suck. Oh, I'm sorry, a curse. Humans GD suck. I mean, at the end of the day, is there ever $100 TV that's worth Black Friday, y'all? Like, that's worth trampling an 8-month pregnant woman? Like,
Yeah.
is there anything worth it? And I mean, I could argue that maybe both you and I are privileged enough that we don't have to do this.
Right.
Because I don't know. It
It's
could
too broke
be.
to do it. I mean,
It
honestly,
could be over more than a television, although I don't hear about anybody doing. I don't hear about great crib rates. You know, like not crib, but actual.
They had a great
crib.
deal of toilet paper, or I had to get the toilet paper.
Like toilet paper, crib, or diaper rates on Black Friday. I hear about like electronic or big. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong.
No.
I really don't. But these are just a few stories of actual Black Friday body counts. Now, there are a ton of stories out there, from fights, pepper spray, to stabbing, to non-fatal gunshots. List goes on and on. You could shop online and get the same deals these days, guys. I mean, is that not true from your retailer?
It just gets shipped straight to your door. Like, you don't even have to leave the house. Just,
I
said earlier,
I feel like everybody has Safari available to them if they're going to spend this money. And I understand you might not have necessarily a credit card available, but you have a debit card available, and those things are taken. If not, show up and pay in cash. But that's a very small, despite what anybody says, that's a relatively small amount of the population these days.
Yes.
And that's fine. True. I understand, but I don't feel like you're going to be trampled to death in the course of it, as relative to the small amount of people that are taking it in these days. So,
yeah.
Nothing in the world that you can buy on cheap is worth going out and risking your life. I understand it might be for some people because they have to, but I also feel like you aren't risking your life like you were maybe in 2008, 2014, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're slaves to consumerism, guys. And if you hate the thought of corporatocracy, don't feed into this BS. Like, shop for gifts, budget, do what you have to. Don't be a slave to global corporations making you dance for that 40% off when they have that same sale in freaking summer, or the same sale at the end of the holiday season. What's worse, though, is we're really taking the workforce away from their families post-holiday. And even if you don't celebrate, so what? That time can be used for family or much-needed rest even. Yeah. Take the holiday back, guys.
Yeah. I mean, greed is really being involved here, and it's resulting in mass murders for what? Again, like we just said, for what? I mean, yes, it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. Now, it was crazy, but it was a nice steady flow and stream. But for what? A $27 eyeshadow palette?
Holy shit.
That's still $27 for an eyeshadow palette. I'm sorry,
exactly.
What?
You can get that same deal directly out of China.
And again, I posted something like, look, I am one of those people, if I never have to work on Thanksgiving or Black Friday, I refuse to go out and shop on those days, because I am a person that missed out on Thanksgiving dinner Friday or Thanksgiving football night. It's just tradition. It's a holiday season. Putting up your Christmas tree the next day. I couldn't do any of that because I was exhausted and had to go to work right back the next day for these insane deals, which people gave us crap about. We're running out of. Well, you should have been here on Thanksgiving. I didn't know you were open on Thanksgiving. I'm like, well, technically we shouldn't have been. But you know what? It's not our choice. This is not what we signed up for. This is corporations that have come down upon us and said, this is what's happening. And instead, what made it crazier is they opened up that online access an hour before our stores opened. So even if you could not make it there and you could have been enjoying your time at home, good for effing you. Enjoy your time at home. Meanwhile, I had to be here dealing with these crazy people that lined up 3 stores
But that's
back.
what I think we want to make people aware of, as that you can get these same deals online, the same day
Yes.
of. Stop taking people away from their homes. Let's cut the fucking, curse. Let's cut the effing like work budget and everything, right? Like, let's cut it all together if we can. Like,
Yeah.
let's offer those days before and after. Like, let's offer them on a Sunday, the same as we would offer them on a Friday, even Saturday. Let it go back, because that's the thing about Thursday. It's always going to be the third Thursday of the month of November, right?
Yeah.
So we always know, let's let that Friday be maybe for family. Offer those same deals online, and then maybe offer them on Saturday. Make Saturday crazy. I'm fine with that. But let's let people have their day with their families. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And also just be conscious going forward into the next year of what the real cost. What is the real cost of Black Friday?
Yeah, you want to die?
You want to die?
It's a possibility.
Or get in a fist fight over a flat screen TV that happens to be.
I don't mean to laugh. I apologize. Because it is a real possibility. It's not funny.
It's true.
But it's a little funny. All right, we're done. Yeah. We're done. We're we apologize.
I've bitched and complained about because I have, you worked retail, and I'm coming off literally being in one of the higher end retail positions I've ever been in my life, and to actually experience it. Because again, I have never gone Black Friday shopping. In fact, I usually wait till Cyber Monday. Honestly, I've always done Cyber Monday over Black Friday because I'm like, F that noise. I'm not going to get human stampede to death just so I can get a TV, or hope I get a TV without getting beat up for it, or, stolen from me or whatever. I just, it just, I'm going to drink my beer. You can finish.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's a great rant. It's a great rant. It's the 100% truth, though. But going forward, we want you guys to know we're going to have a couple of one-offs. We're going to have a couple of maybe more boring episodes. We don't know if you're going to love this or not. And we just don't care. We're so GD tired. We're going to pick back up with the Romanovs. We're going to finish with Peter the Great. Like I said, though, I'm your researcher and I'm exhausted. Bethany's your learner and she's exhausted.
My brain, it burns.
It burns.
Especially after the upcoming release of a 2-parter with a very intelligent person. And so my brain is like, Not
only that, but I have to do work for that, guys.
Yes.
I don't mean to sound as burned out and stupid as I probably sound right now, but that's how burned out and stupid that I feel right now. And I'm sorry.
And we need a break. We do. We need a break from Russian history. And guess what? We're both finding out that we have nightmares of what's his face being nailed to signposts.
This is what I normally sound like when you talk to me. So please be nice. Like, I need a break.
Love us anyway.
I need a break from Russian history. Like Bethany said, we're having nightmares of Streltsy nailed to signposts, putting the way to Moscow. Like, it's not Game of Thrones fun because it's real.
Yeah.
It's fucking real. Oh, sorry, Kurtz. It's like not Daenerys Targaryen, haha, laugh at. It's like fucking real, okay?
But for real, though, we do hope you enjoyed our bitch fest.
Oh, God, us being cunts and yelling about in just the most unprofessional episode we've ever done, and we apologize, but we do have some very professional interviews coming your way.
So
we're in the middle of recording that. and know that I don't sound like sing-songy, like fully brain dead for that. Like, I'm there for it. I promise I'm there for it. Fully there for it. It just takes a lot. So we'll do some sort of, I mean, not lighthearted, because the show, people die.
Yeah, so it's not really lighthearted.
And history, that's not exactly our premise. But some not so strenuous, real history like the Romanovs. And we're almost done. But we're bringing you that fun deal and something I've got in the works. I promise I'll be here for. Yeah. What I've got coming up, where I'm not just a drunkard reading an outline. So, listen to us. Where are you?
Please love us anyway.
Love us anyway. Sorry, this is a shithole episode.
Oh, God.
We're so fucking tired.
Oh, my God.
The Romanovs have ruined our lives. Check us out at our website at bodycounthistorypod.com. Check out bigheadsmedia.com, where you can find us as well as our collectives of podcast network. Also check them out at Big Heads Media on Twitter. Follow the show. This is important. Sorry, I'm going to get serious for a minute. This is actually important. Follow the show at on Twitter at Body Count Pod, and on Instagram at Body Count Pod. And then, Bethany, where do we find you?
You could have just said both on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, fuck off, bitch. I'm floating in and out of sobriety.
Because you can find, because you do that with yours. I can't do that with mine. You can find me on Instagram at Bethany R in 24 and Twitter at Bethany Skelton 5. That's the number 5. And Jessica Manor. You can find her on both Instagram and Twitter at Jessica B Manor. So I did yours for you.
I'm greatly like, I didn't even follow all of the things that you were plugging. It's coming at me too fast because my drunk's sitting too hard.
And after this, we're just gonna keep drinking. So it's
no, I fully intend to. But goddamn! Oh, sorry, curse,
darn, gosh darn it!
But GD, these wear me out, people. I love you, but
we love you.
Closer we get to the holiday, I need a break.
We love you. We should go. Okay, bye.
GC, bye.
Bye.